Last time on Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice.
What? What?
And now back to Apollo Justice 2.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. Last time we left off, we finished the investigation for Chapter 3, and now it's time to move on to the final trial. I'm playing this directly after this last one because I'm obsessed with this game. And also, I just want to keep playing. It is also 1 in the morning right now, so I'm an addict. This is not good. What am I going to do once the series is over, huh? I mean, I'm thinking of, I might do a reaction series to the Greatest Attorney series, because, let's face it, they're never going to release it on DS. Unless they re-release it for Switch, which would be amazing, but I doubt it. So yeah.
Maya looks exhausted, but I can't blame her.
Nick, I was thinking about it all day yesterday. I never properly asked you to defend me, did I?
It doesn't matter, I'm on this case till the bitter end.
I know. That's why I wanted to officially ask you for your help.
You got it, Maya. Let's do this. We gotta wrap this up and get back home so you can make your dream show come true. The Steel Samurai versus the Plum Punisher, right?
You bet. You look as if you did not sleep last night, Barbed Head. It is written all over your face. How can you expect to put up a respectable defense like that?
I'm all fired up and raring to go! Guess Maya's not the only one looking exhausted. Raven didn't seem in the best spirits herself.
Huh. Go ahead, feign confidence now while you're still able. For I will see to it that your last rites are read to you this day.
Guess it was just my imagination.
Ready, Nick?
Okay, Maya, let's head on in. Let's go.
Whew, I am...
Course now in session. All right. Your Honor, do you have to yell that every single time? Yes. Now then, if everyone is ready. The defense is ready, Your Majesty.
The prosecution is ready. Let us begin without further delay.
Oh, no prayers this time, Prosecutor Salamati?
I already offered my prayers to the latest victim during my visit to the crime scene. Being that the accused has already been found guilty of the first murder, let us hasten this trial so we may put this dead lawyer walking out of his misery.
I cannot agree more. In yesterday's trial, the accused was already found guilty of murdering the High Priest. And today, she will be tried for the murder of his disciple, Perez-a-Lot. Now then, Prosecutor Salamati, your opening statement, if you would.
Certainly. The accused has now slain 2 of the most devout clergymen in Kurainism. Even the lowest level of hell, the hell of tickling, would not be punishment enough.
Then, what terrible fate awaits her?
Balgapokon Hell, a realm of eternal agony. There she will suffer the endless punishment of Jagger by the Galleon of Polmonton. Furthermore, Goljama...
Enough! Enough! My blood runs cold at the mere thought that such a terrible place exists. I was going to ask for a translation, but on second thought, ignorance is bliss. Now then, please continue, minus the part about the terrible hell awaiting the accused.
As you wish. Look at my scroll, it's so cool, don't you think? I think my scroll is pretty cool. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool scroll.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, Wait, did you just agree with me?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Alright, well the victim... I don't know what that was, sorry. The victim of this heinous crime was the High Priest's disciple, Perez-a-Lot. He had been training under the High Priest while living at the priest's home.
I met him a number of times and he seemed like an earnest young man. Shake my head. How tragic that he met such a terrible end.
The murder occurred at the Plaza of Devotion during the purification rite. It was a bold crime carried out while the plaza was full of the faithful deep in prayer. The war-bad dagger was found impaled in the victim's upper back. The stabbing caused a spinal cord injury that killed him instantly.
Ah, the war-bad dagger. Lady Kira's weapon of choice.
We've already established that the accused's prints were on the weapon. Incredibly damning evidence in itself. No, I didn't do it. Objection. Hold your tongue. Now, being that the accused Maya Fey is a serial killer, the prosecution believes that the death penalty is the only possible sentence.
Will the defense care to respond?
The accused is innocent, and nothing can convince me otherwise. After all, the crime scene was packed with worshippers. How can my client possibly have committed this murder without a single witness? Ah, you are a fool.
Stop saying that, you're not Edgeworth. Oh, but you still say you're going to search every nook and cranny. Who's the one copying Edgeworth here?
You're even making Edgeworth noises. I think you've been watching too much Nico B. The accused's fingerprints on the murder weapon alone is enough to render a verdict. As such, I see no need to debate this any further.
But...
Well, once her benevolence conducts her seance, it will be clear for all to see.
Yeah... Your Majesty, might I have a word?
Something the matter, Prosecutor Salmati?
It's about the divination seance.
Oh. Your benevolence.
Stop right there, Prosecutor Salmati. As you wish. Forgive me for overstepping my bounds.
It's not conclusive, right? It doesn't show the killer or anything. What was that all about?
Barbed Head, have you made peace with your fate? For this time, the divination seance will bring you to your knees.
I'm ready, and I accept your challenge. The only problem is I have no weapons at my disposal. The only hope now is what we can glean from the seance vision of Rafa's insights. Very well. Divination seance, if you please, your benevolence.
Yes. Let's begin. Nena.
Alright, let's see what we got. What? What? What happened? I don't get it. Wasn't there anything to see? Your benevolence. What in the world?
I was unable to evoke any sort of response. I called out to the spirit's name many times, but to no avail.
Oh. Praise-a-lot isn't his real name, is it? Oh. Because they made that a point earlier. You need to know their name and their face. Okay.
Just as I thought.
Wait, what does he know that we don't?
I'd sought to confirm the contents of today's divination seance. After all, it's customary for the prosecutor to verify it beforehand.
Come to think of it, I don't need a flashback. I just saw this. But I guess it's been 2 days for you guys, so never mind.
And that is why I sought to stop her benevolence from performing it here. However, she insisted that it be done. She wished to try one more time here in the Hall of Justice.
It would appear benevolence is tired from her manifold duties.
I'm not anything of the sort. Your spirit will not answer my call, but I know not why. It is my secret duty to convey the truth through the divination seance.
Rafa, what are we to do without a divination seance?
Suppose I shall have to deliver the last rites without them. The prosecution's already taken that into account when preparing for today. I'm fully capable of proving the accused's guilt, with or without the divination seance.
Ha 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 ha! You never failed to impress, Prosecutor Sadmati. This is bad. The divination seance was my one and only hope. Your Majesty, Her Benevolence said she isn't tired. So shouldn't we try to find out why the divination seance failed? How curious, Mr. Wright. Why have you suddenly taken such a keen interest in the divination seance?
Yes, explain yourself. Divination seance is for shedding light on an accused's crime. It is the Holy Mother's hammer of wrath that is ever poised to pound you into your grave. You should fear it, not plead for it.
I believe in my client. Plus, yesterday somebody told me something that changed my mind. The divination seance was once thought of as just another piece of evidence. If we were to correctly interpret the visions through careful analysis, then they would lead us to the truth behind what really happened. And the truth will show that my client, Maya Fey, is innocent.
The truth is, you don't have anything else to fall back on, huh, Nick?
Maya, please, you're not helping.
How dare you! The voice of a minima is to be feared, not utilized by vile lawyers such as you. Seances exact a heavy toll upon the royal priestess. It would be best not to burden her any further. Or does the defense feel that it can pose no counter-arguments without the seance?
No, of course not. You saw right through me. I'll have to find a way to make the divination seance happen, or we're toast. Well, since the divination seance is not possible at this time, I see no other choice. Let's proceed with the trial without the seance, as Prosecutor Sadmati suggested.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Why, you, I will not forget this, barbed head. This will not be the last you see of me. Now then, I will now proceed by providing an outline of the case at hand.
Very well. The lead detective will please come to the stand, and we may begin.
Sorry, Mr. Wright. Detective Sky. I understand how you would wish to save the accused and the defense. They're your friends, after all. But you must let them go and move on. But there's only one way to save them now. By giving the souls the chance to burn away the taint of their sins in the infernal flames. Oh, I can't do this.
Oh, no reading in the Sacred Hall of Justice.
Miss Sky. Yes? Don't worry about me and Nick. You just do your job. I'm sure Nick will figure something out, eventually.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? I usually figure it out within like 10 minutes.
Right. Thanks, Miss Fey. How very brave for a criminal with a tainted soul. Very well, Detective Sky. Please proceed. Okay, I can do this. Let me start with an overview of this case.
Oh wow, getting right into it. Witness testimony. Overview of the second murder.
The latest victim was praised a lot. He'd been training under the High Priest and living at his house for the past 2 years. The High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body. He may have been mistaken for a rebel and killed due to his connection to the High Priest.
I see, well that certainly makes sense. Will the defense care to respond? Didn't spot any inconsistencies in her testimony so far. I don't have any evidence in my arsenal. What am I gonna do now? What is it, Maya?
I was just wondering about how much the police actually looked into acolytes a lot. Because it just might be the...
Yeah, okay. Whatever. What are you gonna...
well, it's just a hunch.
Wait a second. During my investigation, Rafa told me about how the divination seance works, and I figured out why it failed. Maybe you'd be that. I get it. Okay. God, stop shoving it down my throat. Stop dual destinizing me. Gee, a piece of the moon rock. We might even have it in this very courtroom. It might even be right beside me. It's like, Phoenix, I'm not an idiot. There it is. High Priest's widow, Believe in Me, has identified the victim's body. Was Mrs. Inme's positive ID the only way you verified the identity of the victim?
Huh? Well, no. We also checked the ID card he carried and the data in his family registry, but...
But what?
His personal information didn't match any of the public records we cross-referenced.
Maybe that's why the divination seance failed.
I'm not sure what you mean, Mr. Wright.
Here's what I'm thinking. Praise-a-lot was a fake name. The victim decided to hide his identity for some reason. In other words, he was using a fake name. The royal priestess used a deceased's
face and true name to summon their spirit.
Why, yes. It is indeed true. If he was using a forged ID and there was no mention of him in our public records, then he was likely an illegal immigrant. They are not uncommon here in Kurain.
An illegal immigrant? Come to think of it, Rafa mentioned something about immigrants yesterday.
If that's the case, we have no way of knowing who he really is. Let's proceed without holding a divination seance this time.
Ugh. I'd always thought the Acolyte's lot was Kurainese. Oh, the High Priest must be lamenting his disciples' deception in the Twilight Realm. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think? Should we add this to the testimony?
Yes. This is an important fact. Please add to the testimony.
It would seem to be a fact most inconvenient for the defense. But if you insist, Detective Sky, please add what you just said to your testimony.
Oh, I know. We have no way to identify him. But there's the thing on his neck, right?
Objection!
Yep, alright, here we go. Here's what I'm thinking. Sorry, Detective Sky. But the police missed something important in their investigation.
Huh? What are you talking about?
The victim was undeniably a Kurainese native. Oh, right. And this crime scene photo proves it.
It does?
It's a little hard to see, but look closely. You'll see clear proof that the victim was Kurainese.
What? Where? I don't see anything that would prove that.
This proves the victim was Kurainese. Look at this thing. Look at this tattoo right here.
Why, that's a tattoo of a peach.
I would like you all to think about the meaning of this tattoo.
Oh, the victim really liked peaches?
Well, peaches are our favorite delicacy here in Kurain.
They happen to be a personal favorite of mine. The sweetness of their abundant nectars and the softness of their perfectly ripe flesh. They're a blessing from the Holy Mother herself. Nick, I've suddenly got a craving for peaches.
After the trial, Maya, right now we have bigger fish to fry. Unfortunately, that is not a tattoo of a peach. It is not a peach, you say? Then what is it? Take a closer look. Haven't you seen something like that before? Namely the tattoo on the High Priest's brow.
Oh my!
What? This mark is only borne by members of the Kurainese clergy.
So that is what you believe it to be. But are they not utterly different shapes?
Sure, they're shaped differently, but there's a reason for that. The victim had the peach-shaped tattoo inked over an existing tattoo for some reason. However, the dark red portion is exactly the same as the mark of the Kurainese clergy bear.
Hey, you're right.
Until about 20-some-odd years ago, everyone did get one, didn't they? I myself bear one on my right
That is entirely too much information, Your Majesty. Wow. Information on everyone who enters the clergy is maintained at the temple. All we have to do is look up a monk with a mark in the same spot.
I'm on it. I'll let you know if I get any hits.
That will not be necessary. If you seek information on the clergy... I have it all right here. Look at my scroll, so cool. Yeah, I think it's cool too.
Oh my! You never cease to amaze. So tell us, is there anyone who fits the bill?
Come on, be shocked, be shocked. There's just one. His name is... Oh, I hit my mic. Oh, why? Why are the puns so bad? And his name is Rheel Neh'mu. Rheel Neh'mu. He became a monk 20 years ago. Rheel Neh'mu. That must be the victim's the Rheel Neh'mu.
Why would he have tried to cover up his tattoo with another one?
Yeah, must have been some reason. Join the rebels, I assume.
Nick, that's not important right now. The important thing is we know his real name.
You're right. Your Majesty, now that we know the victim's real name, the divination seance might finally work.
A lord who willingly seeks a seance. This is entirely unprecedented.
You are but digging your own grave, Defense. We won't know that until we try. Sure, it's risky, but it's our only hope.
Very well. Let the divination seance be held once more.
No, no.
No, I'm not doing this again.
Why would a lawyer work so hard to see the divination seance be held once more? You are a fool, Barthead, and your foolishness shall yield no gratitude from me. From what the truth revealed by my insights, I shall gladly seek your demise.
Bring it on, princess. Because I will correctly interpret each and every one of your insights.
Huh. You will regret ever thinking you could use my secret insights as evidence.
Okay. Alright, let's see this baby. Hasta la vista. Jinjo. Oh, Plum Punisher theme. Heavy. Pain. Oh. Okay. Oh my! He's just as Mr. Wright surmised. Praise the law wasn't the victim's true name. And now at last we've seen the victim's final moments. But all we could see was the ground.
You seem terribly disappointed. I take it you did not find any fodder for one of your infamous turnabouts. I, on the other hand, have discovered something. Conclusive evidence that establishes the accused's guilt.
You did? A most surprising surprise attack. So tell us, Prosecutor Sodmarty, what was this conclusive evidence you found?
The Plum Punisher theme song the deceased heard.
No. Oh, we already know how to disprove that. Don't lie to me.
Hey, that's my Plum Punisher strap. When you press the Mega Tub on the Plum Punisher's belt.
It's the Steel Samurai song in a different key. Ah! It's okay, I can already disprove this.
It seems the accused inadvertently pressed a button in the midst of her crime. This strap is an extremely rare item, is it not, Miss Faye? You better not break it. There's only one of those in the whole wide world.
Maya, no! It doesn't matter, we already know what makes the sound. Come on.
I said, flights of fancy have come crashing down on you. You never seem to be enjoying this.
Yeah, I've never seen her look so thrilled before either.
It's time to accept the fact that divination seance is far more than mere evidence. It's the very truth that brings the hammer of justice down upon the accused.
This is as conclusive as evidence can get. Now then, there are no further objections. Objection! I knew that would happen. Slow down there, Your Majesty. At least let me make a counter argument. What's this? Do you take issue with the divination seance? Oh, I have issues with it. I just don't know what they are yet. But that's never stopped me before. The divination seance is not the absolute truth. It only becomes a truth after it's been interpreted correctly.
You do not know when you are beaten, do you, you foolish lawyer? I'm the only one who speaks from the minima of the deceased. If you believe there to be errors in my insights, then let us see you prove it.
Insight. Sight. Rafa's insight.
The victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the rite. A pattern on the plaza's ground was visible in the darkness. Then someone was there. And the theme to the Plum Punisher filled the air. The accused held the victim down and plunged her dagger into his upper back. The blade struck true, and in that instant he departed from this world.
I don't think that's true.
That is everything the deceased experienced in his final moments. Her benevolence's insights have painted a detailed picture, both vivid and true.
Didn't notice any holes there. As they stand now, those insights are really stacked against us. I just have to go over each and every one of the deceased's sensations very carefully. Okay. See, Jinjil. Jinjil is the first thing he feels, which I find kind of strange.
Objection!
Was it
really the night of the rite?
What do you mean? It could not have been otherwise. The accused slew acolytes alive after killing the high priest during the purification rite.
The only problem is the deceased spirit does not corroborate that.
What's this?
Take a good look for what the victim smelled. You see how it says ginjal? Acolytes a lot shouldn't have smelled any ginjal on the night of the rite. What do you mean? Let me back up my statement with some evidence for you. Believe said something about it, right? The High Priestess's wife, Believe in Me, told me about the Feast of Blessings. The feast includes a number of ginjal-based dishes, and they're only supposed to be served at a certain time the day before the rite. Why, I believe you're right. I completely forgot about that. During the feast, the unique smell of ginjal pervades the entire kingdom. The fact that the victim smelled it means he was murdered between noon and 3 p.m. the day before the purification rite.
I'm not so easily fooled. Did that autopsy report not make it clear? The estimated time of death was during the rite.
Alright, I taught her about that yesterday. Forgive me your benevolence, but the estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change.
What's this?
Like, if a body was kept cold, the slowed rate of decay makes the death seem more recent. Well, I believe I have heard something of the sort before. If it is as Mr. Wright claims, the estimated time of death in the autopsy report will have to be revised. Wow, that was easy. Da 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 da.
Barbed head, you blinded me with science.
Sorry. Wait, what am I apologizing for?
Huh. No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours the day before the rite. Nevertheless, the murder weapon with the accused's prints on it is incontrovertible evidence. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth.
Is that revised? The victim... It was the afternoon of the day before the rite, though a bit dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground is visible. Okay, cool.
The time of death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible. Nick!
Changing the time of death is bound to cause some sort of inconsistency. But something that showed what it was like on that day could really help.
Objection!
The change in the day and time of the crime has caused a new consistency to surface.
What's this? You are not making that irritating face again. Seize that at once!
Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. Now, let us focus on what's important, what the victim saw in his final moments.
You bats in the belfry, Barbed Head. There is nothing to see. The ground of the plaza was all that entered the victim's eyes.
And that's what I find so strange. On the day before the rite, it should have been impossible to see that pattern on the ground. Impossible, you say? Do explain. This piece of evidence shows why the plaza's ground was not visible that day. This newspaper has an article that is tiny in size, but huge and important. It says the ground was covered with thick white ice the day before the rite.
What? But...
The victim did not see so much as an ice cube on the ground. Exactly. And so I must ask, what was the victim looking at in his final moments?
If you have something to say, then say it.
The last thing the victim saw was not the ground of the Plaza of Devotion. This can only mean that he was killed elsewhere.
What?
What? What? What? Then where do you propose the victim was actually killed?
Yes, tell us where, otherwise your argument is worthless.
About that, I know exactly where it is because I'm not an idiot. This shows where the victim was killed. Alright, here we go. Thank God. Skaboom! The secret hideout the rebels were using.
The rebel hideout? There was no such place anywhere on the floor of that chamber.
There's no place on the floor, anyway.
Well, what did the victim see in his final moments, not the floor of the rebel hideout?
Oh, come on.
This is what the victim said in his final moments.
The shaggy green surface on the victim saw was one of the moss-covered stone slabs. As you can see, there are two distinct hand-shaped impressions in the moss here. I believe the victim was killed while he stood there with his hands pressed against the slab.
That does agree with the seance vision. However, one cannot definitely declare they are one and the same.
I concur. There's no proof that the murder occurred in the rebel hideout.
Indeed, what evidence do you have of this?
I've already shown you the evidence.
What do you mean?
Please take a look at the second version of the photo I just showed you. You can see the results of the luminol test I performed in the rebel hideout. This is proof positive that someone had been bleeding in front of the stone slab.
Is this true?
This information has already been provided to the police.
Detective Sky, to whom does this blood belong?
What? We thought it was the High Priest's blood that flowed in from outside, so we haven't tested it yet.
Then you must do so at once!
Yes, Your Majesty.
It's gonna be his, isn't it?
It appears the police have finished testing the blood. Detective Sky, your report, please.
The blood found in the rebel hideout belongs to Perez a lot, just like the defense claims.
Detective Sky, do you realize what your blunder has done to me? When this trial concludes, I want to see you in my prayer chamber. There, I will deliver a joyous sermon onto you for 8 hours straight.
I'm really sorry, but please anything but that. Nick, maybe, just maybe, this is the chance we've been waiting for.
Yep, it would seem so. I hate to do this to Emma, but...
Go for it. It's full speed ahead.
The victim was killed in the rebel hideout the day before the purification rite. Then, his body was moved to the Plaza of Devotion by someone we've yet to identify. So when we thought we saw acolytes a lot praying during the rite, he was already dead!
Ah!
That's not all. He was killed in the inner sanctum. That would explain one more thing.
And that would be?
How the time of death was made to look later than it actually was, the proof of which was left behind at the sanctum. This points to how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was. You see how the snow has been removed from this one spot only? That's because it was used to keep the victim's body cold. And that's why the time of death wasn't what it seemed.
The time was mistaken, and the place too. And just what do you believe that proves?
That my client is innocent.
What are her fingerprints on the dagger? And the Plum Punisher theme the victim heard?
Both those can be explained.
You failed to address these two key—
well, actually one of them. What's the evidence? Ugh, I see your point. It's okay.
Was this your big chance, Nick?
I'm really hoping that the difference in location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme song from being used as evidence against you.
Actually, that might be possible. Oh my...
The murder happened in the rebel hideout. There's something there that played the theme song other than my client's strap.
It wasn't the strap! Is this true?
Finally! Good lord, I've been waiting to say this for like a million years. Can you go over there, please? Boom. This is the Plum Punisher alarm clock. I believe the victim heard his alarm go off.
What proof do you have that the alarm went off?
What proof do you have that it was my client's strap that played the theme song?
Ah! Do not twist the facts with your lawyerly wiles. Either way, the accused would still be guilty based off of her prints on the murder weapon. And here's what really happened.
Insight revised. The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon of the day before the Wright.
Though there have been some twists and turns, that is the truth of what happened.
Ugh. I won't get anywhere until I can eliminate the dagger. I guess we just need to prove it wasn't the murder weapon, right?
Most impressive, Your Benevolence. I see no inconsistencies anywhere in the prosecution's case.
No. There is one.
What's this? You still claim there to be an inconsistency?
Huh. Try as you might, the outcome will always be the same.
Objection!
The victim was originally thought to have been stabbed while bent over in prayer, but he was actually standing with his hands against the stone slab. So the question is, where did the sensation of something heavy come from?
Yes, I see your point.
Since the victim was standing, he couldn't have been held down.
Ah!
And tell us, Mr. Wright, what was that heavy sensation felt by the victim?
What caused the heavy sensations a lot felt? Any thoughts, Maya? I actually don't know on this one.
I agree that sense of heaviness seems important, but there's also the matter of Zalot's hands on the stone slab. Why are they even there?
Could it be related to the cause of the heavy sensation?
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have an answer for us?
Of course! But just imagine the state Zalot was in when he was killed. The cause of the heaviness the victim felt was... The only conceivable cause is the stone slab falling over, trapping the victim underneath.
What?
Oh! The stone slab came falling down on him, crushing him underneath.
Right, that was the cause of the heavy sensation the victim felt.
While your theory is impressive, you have overlooked a key fact. The victim was not crushed to death, rather he was stabbed.
Oh yeah.
When you claim that the dagger was plunged in after the stab had fallen on him? Plus, had the killer been behind the victim, they would have both been crushed together.
Well, would you care to explain?
Sure, I'd love to. That doesn't mean I can. How could the dagger have been plunged in after the slab fell on the victim? The killer couldn't have plunged the dagger into the victim after the slab fell on him. But what if the murder weapon wasn't what we thought it was?
Well, there were other weapons in the rebel hideout. But the entrance to the hideout is right by the stone slab.
Oh, I'm so dumb. It was the statue. God, I'm so dumb. Of course. There isn't enough space between the two to use any weapons found within. What was the real murder weapon? I better think of something. I got it.
If the murder weapon wasn't the dagger, then the dagger must have been plunged into the victim after he was already dead. That means he was stabbed at least twice, but the autopsy doesn't mention that.
He must have been stabbed in the same spot with something shaped like the dagger. Yeah, okay, cool, we got it.
Would the defense care to offer an explanation?
Sure. Wait, wasn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? Yep. Something that has shape similar to the Warbat dagger.
Present your evidence at this time, Mr. Wright.
This shows what really killed the victim. I'm not even gonna save.
Take that!
Is this not the photo from the scene of the High Priest's murder? Are you suggesting the murder weapon is hidden herein?
This is what really took Praise-a-Lot's life.
Take that!
And skadoosh.
But that is the
Warbat statue?
Exactly. The Warbat statue has dagger-like features protruding from it. That is what really took the victim's life.
Slam my desk. You imbecilic fool. The statue is outside of the hideout. How do you propose to impale someone who is inside?
Haven't you heard? The Warbat statue also functions as the hideout's door.
What do you mean?
The statue can pull a complete switcheroo. A switcheroo. To put it simply, it's a revolving door.
A revolving door? Why, that makes perfect sense.
Therefore, I believe the truth behind the divination seance to be this. As the victim entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling toward him. He then threw up his hands to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Unfortunately, the Warbat statue was right behind him.
This cannot be! But the accused's fingerprints were found on the dagger.
She had held it while rehearsing for the Wright, which is when her prints got on it. Ugh.
This is a shocking turn of events, but there was a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favor. I believe we must accept that the Warbat statue was what killed the victim.
Yeah, we got it, boys. Now that we know how Acolyte Zalot really met his demise, there's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime.
Nice work, Nick. How can this be happening yet again? The divination seance is the only truth.
No, your benevolence. It's not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth. You understand now? Your kingdom needs lawyers so that they can interpret your insights.
But that means I've been misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time.
Your benevolence! Are you unwell? All the colors range from your face.
I will be fine. Continue your proceedings without me.
As you wish.
I feel kind of bad for her.
Now then, I would have the defense continue. Please explain what you have learned now that we know how the victim actually died.
Acolyte Zalot was killed in the hideout before the High Priest's murder. That means the body found at the Plaza of Devotion was moved there by the real killer. But only after the Warbat dagger was thrust into him, to make it look like the murder weapon.
That does seem to agree with what we know now. No. But why did the real killer go to such lengths?
I believe stabbing Acolyte Zalot's body with the dagger and moving it to the plaza was an attempt to make my client look like a serial killer. That's right, the real killer planned all of this. This forged serial murder case.
They did?
Maybe you just believe in me then.
That's it, Nick. Keep hammering away.
Santara!
Oh, we're going for it.
Your reasoning has more holes in it than that cheese you foreigners so enjoy.
What?
Like those putrid hole-ridded clumps of curds that only a rat like you could love. Your reasoning, much like your putrid hole-ridded brain, is putrefied.
What's with this deal? What's his deal with things going putrid?
You have yet to overturn my argument that the accused is the killer. A careful analysis of the chain of events up to killing exposes the truth as follows. Disguised as Lady Kira, the accused found the rebel hideout the day before the Wright. But Acolyte Zalot had followed her there after noticing her suspicious behavior. Caught by surprise, she pushed the stone slab toward him, and we know the rest. I've never been to the rebel hideout in my life. When the High Priest arrived at the sanctum the next day, he realized what she had done. That is when the accused murdered him in order to silence him.
I believe Prosecutor Salmati has posed a compelling scenario. And the defense, on the other hand, has yet to disprove the accused's guilt.
Why would my client move Acolyte Zalot's body to where everyone could see it? And why would she stab the dagger with her fingerprints into his dead body? She had no reason to do any of those things. The dagger in his corpse was likely a warning to the rebels. Something along the lines of Lady Kira will slay the defiant dragons.
So that's why she moved the body to the plaza for all to see.
Now is the judge convinced too? I thought I'd finally made some headway.
Well, Mr. Wright, got time for one of your groans of distress, is it not?
Groan of distress? It kills me to admit this, but I've got nothing to counter his argument with. I still haven't disproven the allegations against Maya.
It's not time to end your futile struggle. You were already judged guilty yesterday. That makes you a dead lawyer walking. Accept the death that now awaits you, and in doing so, finally know peace.
A dead lawyer walking indeed. Then again, are not all lawyers who practice in Kurain. But I must admit, I misspoke earlier. Allow me to amend my last statement. I'd said the defense's reasoning had a putrid cheese-like smell. But I now realize the scent was from his own putrid body on the verge of death.
Now I'm a rotting zombie. Think, who could have killed Zalat the day before the Wright? Who knew about the rebel hideout, and could gain access to the inner sanctum?
Only those involved with the Wright can enter the sanctum, so...
Wait a second. Yeah, it is. It's trust in me. Only a rebel would have known about the secret hideout, and the only person who was involved with the Wright had access to the sanctum, and was suspected of being a rebel is... Ah!
Did somebody come to mind?
Yes, except there's one huge problem.
A huge problem? What are you two going on about? Plotting your escape from this sacred hall? I will not put it past you, considering you have no means to raise further objections.
If I don't do something, Prosecutor Savmati will have this one in the bag. I just have to bluff my way out of this, regardless of that huge problem. Your Majesty, I believe there is another suspect in Zalat's murder.
Even the most benevolent Holy Mother would not forgive such a desperate lie. After all, you know very well that such a person does not exist.
No, there is one person who knew everything.
Does such a figure truly exist? Tell us, who might that be?
I believe the prime suspect in Acolyte Zalat's murder is... Trust in me.
Take that!
It had to be someone allowed to enter the sanctum, and who knew of the hideout. And that would be... the High Priest. He could have committed the crime if it occurred the day before the Wright.
You would pin a crime upon the dead, knowing very well they tell no tales.
Have you no shame? Dead men tell no tales. It is definitely a problem. We have if only the High Priest could tell us his side of the story. Are we gonna get Maya to channel him?
What? Do I have something on my face?
Wait a second. Could this actually work?
Oh no! Don't tell me I have some of my breakfast caught between my teeth.
No. If there's even the slightest possibility, I have to go with it. Your Majesty, dead men do tell tales. Therefore, I'd like to request the High Priest's testimony.
His testimony? And just how do you propose we get the deceased to testify?
There's a way for the dead to testify. It's known as channeling. Summon him here by means of spirit channeling.
What did you just say? Spirit channeling? Has this lawyer finally gone insane? This is sacrilege. May the Holy Mother strike him down. Peace! I'm frankly astonished you even know of such a thing. But spirit channeling is a secret art that only Her Eminence Queen Garin can perform.
Oh no.
And Her Eminence is far too busy with other duties to perform it at our pleasure.
I suspected as much. That means our only hope is...
Come on, Maya. Please? It's okay, Nick. You can tell them.
But Maya... I thought you wanted to keep it a secret here in Kurain.
Don't worry. It's not like it's against the law or violates some religious precepts, so... I don't think we'll be punished. At least I hope not.
This is a crucial period for you. It'll decide whether you become Master of Kurain.
We don't have any other choice now, do we? If I'm found guilty, it'll be a lot worse than not becoming a Master of Kurain.
Alright, thanks, Maya. Actually, there is someone here who is capable of channeling spirits. Satara!
But even a benevolent Princess Rafa finds the divination seance to be a challenge.
Who could possibly have greater spiritual power than she, aside from the Queen?
That would be me.
Is this some sort of a joke? A foreigner cannot possibly have such power. Even though a priestess isn't capable of such a feat. Peace! Peace, I say! Is this true? Is the accused capable of performing the secret art of spirit channeling?
Well, yes. Yes, I can.
Now, Your Majesty, we'd like your permission to begin. We know who it is. There's only one person who says that. Your Benevolence.
This is an outrage. An outrage, I say. First, you make a mockery of the divination seance, and now spirit channeling.
The Benevolence speaks the truth. Spirit channeling is a sacred rite. Poor devils, this age should be put to death immediately.
Still your voices! Barbed Head, spirit channeling is a most sacred and secret of arts. Are you prepared to face the consequences of what you propose?
Yes, I am. Your benevolence, are you saying you approve of their use of spirit channeling?
I will judge whether their claim is true. If this is but another of their lies, they shall be executed on the spot.
Very well then. Your benevolence? What if the accused accidentally calls forth an evil spirit?
Do you truly believe this foreigner is capable of channeling spirits?
No, but I want to be sure as I am responsible for the safety of all present.
Well, an inexperienced practitioner could inadvertently call forth a dangerous spirit, but do not fear, for I have a megatama of parting. With it, I can send spirits back to the Twilight Realm by halting the flow of spiritual power.
That is a relief indeed.
These foreigners have thrown down the gauntlet. Let us not shirk from their challenge. We must prove them guilty and deliver their last rites. Do I make myself clear, Prosecutor Sadmati? Perfectly, Your Benevolence.
Very well. The accused may channel the High Priestess' spirit. But first, we must take a short recess to prepare. No. Resume as the preparations are complete. Until then, this court is adjourned.
No.
I was hoping, wait, it's gonna come back on. We're going. God dang it. Well, it is 2 in the morning for me, so I should probably stop recording. I don't want to, but I mean, I should. So, I'm gonna wrap up today's episode here for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. So, we're gonna see more sauce on this game. We're playing until the end, as always, and I will see you all in the next video. Guys, it's a short episode of this for once. I think this is the first video we've had that is under an hour. I can't even believe it. I'm so thankful. Anyways, thanks for watching. Sorry, I got awkwardly silent there for a second. Peace out.